first graders, I hope you're having a great week. I'm super excited today because I have a special guest who's going to help me with my writing lesson. Today, you are going to interview someone in your house, which means you're going to ask them questions to get to know them better, and then you're going to use that to write a little nonfiction book. You might have remembered in school you got to interview a partner and write all the information you learned about them. Interviewing means you ask someone a question. So before I introduce you to our special guest, I'm going to show you some interview questions that you could use if you'd like. You could ask the person, how old are you? What food do you like to eat? What do you like to do on the weekends? And what's your favorite activity? You can use these questions if you would like, or you can come up with your own. So before we begin our interview, I would like to introduce to you our special guest, Mr. Keith. Hi, Mr. Keith. Welcome to our interview today.
I'm Mr. Keith. Thanks for having me today as a part of your interview. Can't wait to talk to the first graders.
Now that we know who our special guest is, I'm going to begin asking Mr. Keith some of our interview questions. Mr. Keith, how old are you?
How old am I? I just had a birthday and I turned 33. I know, kind of hard to imagine, but that's how old I am, 33.
All right, I have another interview question for you. I would like to know, what are some of your favorite foods to eat? Because I know you like to eat.
What foods do I like to eat? Oh man, I love to eat. I start my morning, every morning I make a smoothie that's healthy for me. Then I have some yogurt and granola and fruit. For lunch, I pack myself a turkey sandwich and have some carrots and wheat thins. And then for dinner, I eat whatever you make, Miss McCann. I could eat all day.
Isn't it fun learning about Mr. Keith? Okay, I have another question to ask him. Mr. Keith, what do you like to do on the weekends when you aren't working?
What do I do on the weekend? Well, there's a couple things I love. I love doing projects all day. Another thing I like to do is I like to call some turkeys. Got my here turkey caller. I like to call them turkeys and then they answer back. Love spending my weekend looking for turkeys.
Wow, Mr. Keith sure likes to keep busy. Let's ask him another question. Mr. Keith, what is your favorite activity to do for fun?
My favorite activity, funny you ask, I'm wearing one of my medals I've earned for doing triathlons. Now, it says 2012, so yeah, that was 8 years ago. But I like to ride my bike, I like to run, I like to swim, I like to go to the gym and lift some weights, and I like to walk my dogs. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I have my sunglasses on because it's so bright outside and I just came back from working on a project. So, first graders, I hope to hear that you get your work done this week.
All right, I'm going to say thank you to Mr. Keith for participating in my interview, and then I'm going to show you how I turn my interview into a nonfiction book. Thanks, Keith. We'll see you later. Wasn't that fun getting to interview Mr. Keith? Once you've done your interview, you want to just turn that into a little nonfiction writing. So I took all the things I learned about Mr. Keith and I wrote a little nonfiction book. This is a book about Mr. Keith. He is 33 years old. He enjoys having smoothies for breakfast and turkey sandwiches for lunch. On the weekend, he likes to do projects around the house and call the wild turkeys. For fun, he enjoys running, riding his bike, and working out. I hope you learned a lot about Mr. Keith. So once you finish interviewing your person, go ahead and just write a little nonfiction writing about them, and then you're gonna save that to post on Friday. Have fun interviewing someone.